Welcome to the Hollywood Outsider, an award-winning weekly entertainment podcast. In this episode, we've got a news roundup that leads into our new movie hero game, reviews of Psych 2, Lassie Come Home, The Beach House, The Outpost, discussions on Hamilton, and Unsolved Mysteries, and our topic this week, TV catchphrases. Are you ready? Good, because I love it when a plan comes together. My name is Aaron Peterson. Joined me today, my fellow host, John Davenport.
Hi.
What's up? Hey, how you
What's going on?
Amanda Sink?
Hello, hello. I'll bring a little bit of liveliness.
I know. What is hi? I mean, that's just, hey.
No, hey is not hi.
Hi, he was still kind of like chipper about it, I guess.
I was chipper about it. Just weird.
Okay. Is it because she does the hello, and you're just like trying to bring that back somewhat? You're cutting it in half? Like you're bringing it at 50%?
I'm still recovering from 15 hours of podcasting last week.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Last week was a marathon. By the way, if you're a Patreon subscriber, the bonus behind the scenes of episode 400 is now available. The one where Brian got mad at me because we went too long. He was not thrilled at the time.
You could see it in his face.
Well, him and John both had quite a bit of disdain. Would it be disdain that we went so long?
You know, somebody started talking way too much about something that wasn't really even related to this podcast, and it was like, what is happening?
That's gone. Don't worry. I was
going to say that didn't make it into the final cut. So nobody but the five of us knows what the hell you're talking about.
But we're back to the three of us now, baby. It's back. It's 401. It's officially 401. It's a
Which
new
means
world.
no more of those sons of bitches.
Wow.
Yeah, they're the hell out of here now.
Oh, he was about to say the naughtier word.
Right. Well, I decided to try to keep it clean for some reason.
I don't know.
That means also at episode I don't know, 500 or whatever's next. Like if we have to bring those bastards back on here, it'll be too soon.
Wow. We're not going to do reminiscing. We're only going to do games for the 10-year anniversary. That's my goal.
Games are
no
so
reminiscing,
fun.
Just games. It's going to be
Can
all
we play Clue?
Hollywood. It's going to be like the games we play, like the one we're. Let's get to the episode. News Roundup. You guys ready? Here's all the stuff that's happening. If you've never heard News Roundup because we haven't done it in a while. It's basically everything that's happened in the news over the past week, and then we'll talk about anything that really caught our fancy.
Man, it's been a week.
I know. And it feels like we just got done with that podcast. That's how late it went. It was so long. Try editing it. It was awful. All right. Constantine looks to be getting a film reboot, though no official word as of yet as to, does that mean Keanu Reeves? Does that mean Matt Ryan? What does that mean? We don't know. Colin Kaepernick is getting a deal with Disney to develop an ESPN series on his life as well as additional projects. Zachary Levi is playing Kurt Warner, another football analogy, in an upcoming series on his life. Joss Whedon was called out for having abusive behavior by Ray Fisher on Justice League, which that was 4 years ago, but, whatever. Beavis and Butthead are getting a new series. Fire. Halle Berry. Halle Berry recently was preparing for a transgender role and pulled herself out of it following very similar criticism that she received that Scarlett Johansson received that we talked about a couple weeks ago. Apple won rights to Emancipation, which has Antoine Fuqua directing Will Smith in a scripted action thriller about the harrowing escape of Peter, a runaway slave forced to outwit cold-blooded hunters in the unforgiving swamps of Louisiana on a torturous journey north where he joined the Union Army. Dan Stevens, I love Dan Stevens, his blue eyes, has said that there has been talk of a sequel to The Guest, one of my favorite movies that no one has seen. Walmart
Didn't he die at the end of that one?
I'm not going to tell you what happened at the end of that one if you don't remember.
I saw it. I just don't remember.
Well, way to be a spoiler then, Johnny.
You know what? Sequels can happen in all kinds of ways, John. Maybe he was an android the whole time. Walmart has partnered with Tribeca to turn 160 parking lots into drive-in theaters, and they're also developing their own streaming service because we were running low on those. Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan announced they're doing a Fallout TV series for Amazon. AMC, Cinemark, and Regal Theaters are starting to sue states over forced closures, saying that they are unconstitutional. Tron 3 looks to be good to go on Disney Plus, and prolific composer Ennio Morricone has passed away. Whew. Of all of that, what stood out to you?
God, there's so much to talk about here. I feel like the Joss Whedon thing would be fun to talk about. However, is he still protected by everybody at this point? I don't know what's going on there.
What do you mean protected by everybody?
Like, I don't know. Is it safe to point out that Joss Whedon might not be as great of a guy as it seems like he might have been?
I don't know. I mean, his wife didn't have nice things to say, but what ex-wives have wonderful things to say about? It's kind of hard to. That's a touchy subject. But this was a very non-detailed tweet from Ray Fisher, just basically saying he had abusive behavior that shouldn't be tolerated, but he couldn't go into specifics. Came out later that he has an NDA, so he can't get any more specific. I don't know. I mean, we don't have details. It's kind of hard to really have an opinion without details and facts.
One of the details that has come out is what happened with Gal Gadot's stunt double. That whole scene where Flash just drops down on top of her. That was actually something that Joss insisted on having because good guy Pratt falls on top of Pretty Woman and it looks weird, and but those are the kind of jokes Joss Whedon goes for. And
wow, shots fired.
But apparently, like, the whole scene was set up because Gal Gadot said she wasn't going to do it. And so he threatened the stunt double with, like, if you don't do this, you're out of here. You don't have a career anymore. And that's how that scene was created.
I've heard that. And it's just
the stunt double is the one who confirmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is just fascinating about that to me is the fact that he's, in a way, Joss Whedon has always been kind of a feminist icon. In many respects. I mean, to Buffy fans and a lot of other shows that he's done, he's always written strong females. So, I'm not saying it's true or not. I have no idea, and we don't have a ton of details. But that idea shocks me because that just doesn't sound like the same guy. Not to say that it's not. I mean, people go through things. They grow up. They get cranky. They get power. It goes to their head. You never know. But it's sad if it's true. That's for sure.
Well, one of the other stories that people have dug up because of this whole thing is the story behind Charisma Carpenter's firing off of Angel.
Mm-hmm. That was partly because she was pregnant, the way I understand it, right?
It was mostly because she was pregnant.
It's mostly because she showed up pregnant, and he was like, "Who did that to you?" It wasn't me.
She also did not have it confirmed to her. She found out through like the media or something, and so that was part of the issue too. But it was a lot of the let's not try to work around, and he felt that he stated that the character did not have that direction, and so that's where that kind of ended.
Well, the character eventually did have that direction. It was a whole fourth season, so it was because it had to.
For the fourth,
I know.
Yeah, they had to. So I mean, that's what the whole thing's all about. And then it was like supposed to be that her character was never supposed to die, and she ended up dying.
Whew. Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of conflicting things about the onset abuse because then you have people from Firefly who, like Alan, who is like, I did not personally experience this.
Which is his right to say. It's likely he didn't experience anything like that.
No, but he was basically defending his friend, and he got caught in the whole cancer culture. Man, Twitter's just like, bam, 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 shots fired left and right. It's like, duck, stay out of the
and the thing I have with his response is that I did not feel like he was saying, this didn't happen to me, so there's no way that this is true. Mm-mm. It had the impression that he's saying, I could not imagine this, and I have a pretty vivid imagination. That's, paraphrasing what he said.
No, that's literally what he said.
But he didn't say anything that was necessarily like this person is lying or anything like that. And I'm trying to balance that with, if this isn't true, then all of these other people who have worked with him on set, that's different than like domestic abuse. I feel like there's somebody who has that type of abusive behavior. It may come out of their personality on other sets prior, unless this is a pattern of behavior that developed afterwards. But that actor, I never felt like he was trying to attack the Ray Fisher's perspective in his, what he felt Joss Whedon was like on set. It was just more of, here's what my personal opinion is. Right. And so he really got demolished by Twitter.
Yeah. It's unfair to demolish Alan for it because all he's doing is he's not necessarily standing up for his friend, but he's just saying, hey, I don't know about this because I can't believe it. But which is fair for him to say.
Can we cancel since apparently everybody's going to jump on the cancel Joss Whedon, I don't know the details, but, they're going to do what they're going to do. Can we cancel that joke from X-Men? What happens when a toad gets struck by lightning? Same thing that happens to everything else. Can we get rid of that? Can we cancel that joke out? Because that wasn't
Joss Whedon.
That was Joss Whedon. Yes, it was.
Was it?
Yep.
Well, then that just goes to show you that he was terrible at writing this whole time, and he just used this whole "I'm a feminist" thing to not only get laid but also to get a job.
He wrote a lot of great television. I'm not taking that away from him. He did.
Cancel culture would even debate that with you, Aaron.
Which one? Which part?
About him writing feminist storylines. There are people who believe that Buffy's story is not feminist.
What is it?
Not feminist.
Oh, I mean,
well, the reason why they say that it's part of it's not feminist is that they use his use of rape as a way to tell a story to men.
That was a horrible misstep. I don't disagree with that.
It mostly didn't fit the characters.
But that's not what happened through most of the show. Most of the show was very much about growing up and being self-confident and growing up as a woman. Angel was about redemption. I mean, yeah, different themes. Firefly was about a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, well, speaking of Firefly, that whole rape thing was supposed to be used again in there, with a bunch of Reavers taking Inara hostage. And she has this poison in her that if anyone who takes her unwillingly, if anyone, quote unquote, takes her unwillingly, and does anything to her, it kills them. So when Mal finally gets to the Reaver ship and boards the Reaver ship to go save her, he's finding all these dead Reavers left and right, and it's just her, and then she's basically stands up and walks herself out of the ship. But again, using rape in a bad way. But
that has been abused on television for eons. I mean, that has been a trope, which I agree it's a trope and it should stop, and it's ridiculous that they use it. But on the same token, I'm just saying it's not like he's the only one that's ever done it. I mean, it's every freaking show. Handmaid's Tale, it's the whole show. So I mean,
that's true. That's why I don't watch that either.
I get what you're saying. So, but the bottom line is we don't know the truth. We're just talking about rumors, which you normally don't do. But he's such an icon; it's kind of hard to not discuss.
It's very conflicting to what we know of to his. I don't even want to say just his personality because we don't really care about that part. But what we care about is the Hollywood aspect, and it's complete opposite from the type of writing and direction and all of that we've come to believe from the tales that he's told.
Right.
And it's just very different. So it's an interesting cancel culture thing that we have going on here. And everybody who has made any statement in relation to it is also kind of on that, hanging there too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, interesting. What else we got though? So we've talked enough about that, I think.
Beavis and Butthead, man. I am so excited.
Fire. Why are you excited about Beavis and Butthead coming back? You really think the world was just aching for their voices to return?
Everything else is stupid.
Yeah. This feels like a good time to bring something just stupidly hilarious back into our lives. Those nostalgic feels can really get us wrapped up and make us feel a little bit, it can feel a little bit wholesome. We're able to go back to our childhood. For me, it was more my childhood than it was my teenagehood. Mm-hmm. And I can kind of reminisce on those the same way people with Star Wars. When they heard about Star Wars.
Are you equating Beavis and Butthead to Star Wars?
For me, yes.
What just happened?
Maybe Indiana Jones. But Star Wars?
Wow, take a long walk off a short pier, John. That is
not. But you know what I'm saying? Where right now, everything is so sad and gloomy and horrible. And it's you know what? If Beavis and Butthead can make us laugh again and it can bring us back to the good old days, as everyone says, I'm not opposed to that. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm totally against this whole idea.
Why?
Are you for real?
What is it going to affect you? In any way, shape, or form?
Well, it's not because I'm not going to watch it.
Why are you against it?
Oh my God.
This whole idea, if we need two chimps on a couch talking about stupid crap, why not bring back Wayne's World? Why? At least that was wholesome and fun and actually cute. Whereas Beavis and Butthead was a bunch of just two morons just
I'm giggling just thinking about it. You doing that bad impression made me go, oh, that reminds me.
Bad. It's an awesome impression.
Okay. Whatever, man. Easy.
I think Johnny just wants to debate today.
I know, that's fine. If you want to debate, but you can't debate the greatness of Beavis and Butthead, which I will say in some circles rivals Star Wars. I'm just
apparently Amanda's circles.
Just putting it out there.
The two properties are
give those two laser swords, and that's gonna just take off.
No, I'm just saying the nostalgia.
Great. Now you
feels.
just put that in the world.
Oh my goodness.
Use the fork.
Oh my goodness.
I am Cornelio. You keep it from my bunghole.
But what about Walmart, you guys?
Well, screw Walmart.
What? The rumor is, or not the rumor, they're actually looking into creating a streaming service. I love the drive-in theater aspect. They're partnering with Tribeca. They're going to do 160 drive-ins and Walmart parking lots. I think that's fantastic. That's
fantastic. You can get hepatitis C and D and watch a movie all at the same time.
And you can get ointments right there in the store. So yeah.
Right. Don't forget the donation bins for their employees.
Full circle. Get your medications right there.
Right.
But side note, this is a great opportunity for indie filmmakers and this festival, because what a beautiful way to branch out and expand your films throughout all of these different drive-in theaters that people could not afford to travel and go to, or, they couldn't afford the ticket cost or whatever it may be. Now they're able to get more publicity for their films. They're able to get more opportunity. And it's just really cool to see that.
I agree. Partnering with Tribeca could bring a lot of independent films, although I don't know if Walmart's quite the audience for that.
I was going to say, are you going to really finish that sentence?
On the same token, though, a lot of films that go to Tribeca, I feel like most people would enjoy if they would ever give them a shot. Sometimes people won't try anything simply because there's no name attached, or there's a story they're not, there's no bam, bam, look, lasers, that sort of thing. So maybe it'll get them to try different things, or maybe it'll just end up being blockbuster.
And you can get your grocery pickup at the same time. So you're COVID safe, but you're also getting a movie. What? I
don't know if Walmart is technically.
You haven't been in a Walmart in a while.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
I think they have a COVID aisle. Amanda.
Yeah. You can actually go there and get the infection for you.
You can order it. Yeah.
Especially here in Florida.
All you do is you touch the shelves.
No, you can actually just place an order, pick it up at the pharmacy, go get some snacks, get the COVID, get out.
The greeters at the door is
so mean. What about this Fallout series? This is something that I found kind of interesting. I don't play.
Ooh, Fallout.
I don't play the game. I mean, I know it's basically post-apocalyptic world, but at the same time, it's Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan, who I'm a big fan of because of Westworld. I think that could be a good thing. Yes?
Yeah, no, actually, the creative team behind it is a really good idea, and I'm sure they're going to come out with something that's actually a quality piece, but the world of Fallout doesn't interest me.
See, I'm more hesitant on video game adaptations because most of them have not turned out super great. And so I'm a little leery now. I've gotten to that point where I'm like, I can't trust it.
Yep.
But the creative partners are certainly creating an interest for me.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. You know what? They're quality TV make. I just hope it doesn't cost Westworld in the story department because they're so focused on this. That's all. I really am.
That would be terrible for a show that I don't watch also. Tron 3 now. I am stoked.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I really am.
Can you hear the joy in both of our voices? Kind of like how you feel.
Yeah, both of you sound super excited.
I mean, who's really wanting this? I mean, there's 27 fanboys, probably all that used to listen to our show now.
28? I'm right here.
Okay. It's nobody really rushed out for that last one, but it's going to be on Disney Plus, so, I guess captive audience, there's nothing else on Disney Plus besides Hamilton. I guess that's good.
It'll be a good opportunity for teenage kids or whatever that are still at home.
Yeah, I say that.
Okay.
And me, and it'll also be something that I would be willing to watch on Disney Plus, which I don't even remember where I put the app.
You didn't watch Hamilton, even though we're going to discuss Hamilton? You did not. Doesn't your wife at least make you watch it?
No.
It sounds like you're the only one who watched Hamilton.
I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. So you have to listen.
Amanda, you didn't watch Hamilton?
No, I was busy watching other stuff.
High five.
I watched Warrior Nun.
Wow. You know what?
Way to go. Well, how many episodes in are you to that?
3, 4.
Yeah, I'm about 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an exciting conversation. You know what? Remember, you can always find more information at thehollywoodoutsider.com. Join our Facebook group or on Twitter at BuyPopcorn. We're going to play the Movie Hero game. Now, we're going to have to give a shout out to My Spy on Amazon Prime. And Last Boy Scout has done it. A lot of movies have done this or touched on this, but this is going to be our version. We're going to give an awesome movie scenario, and then we have to offer the cool one-line retort. For example, your hero just gets knocked out by a villain your hero just knocked out a villain with a surfboard. What's he say? Surf's up, bitch. And then we decide what the best one is. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like your delivery could have been a little bit better on that.
Yeah, I think Damon Wayans did it better in The Last Boy Scout.
Surf's up, bitch.
All right. That was better?
I mean, I shouldn't have tried to go like deeper in my voice.
I totally just said Damon Wayans did it better. You didn't have to try it.
So you guys understand how this works?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rules are simple enough. I can understand the instructions.
Okay, be sure to do a really manly voice, Amanda. Amanda, you go first. John went first with the news roundup. So what's your scenario? And then John and I have to, and you can as well. You have had time to think of yours, though. We just have to come off the fly. But what's your scenario?
Yeah. Well, I kept mine kind of simple because it's the first time. So you are the villain who's fighting with Catwoman and you knock her unconscious. What do you say, John?
How about that catnip?
That was perfect.
Oh, I like the inflection in your voice. I did, what's wrong? Cat got your tongue.
Boy, we're definitely not doing this game again. All right.
Why?
I'm just kidding. Fun. I'm just kidding. Let's have fun. My scenario or you, John? You choose.
Your scenario.
Okay, so here we go. Our hero, Steve Big Thumper Jackson, has just jumped out of a plane at 10,000 feet to catch an elusive master criminal known as the Duke. Just before it's too late to pull a chute, Jackson catches the Duke and disables the villain's parachute before pulling his own ripcord, leaving our villain to plummet to his certain death. What does Jackson say? Amanda.
How about that jump? I don't know.
Wow. John.
No stops on this ride.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh, I actually don't have one.
What?
No, well, I didn't want to think of it ahead of time.
I feel like this is when Aaron says I didn't prepare.
You've just been jacked.
Mine's better.
You've just been hijacked?
Nope, mine's still better.
Wait, that was good. God damn it. Son of a bitch. All right, John, what's your scenario?
All right, so just before the hero jumped out, apparently, because we're going to do very nearly the same scenario.
Does that mean
the hero is standing at the back of
Does that mean you didn't prepare one? So you're just kind of like piggybacking?
No, I did actually. Hold on. I got it right here. The hero is standing at the back of a C-130 after he just beat up a whole bunch of bad guys. The C-130's gate is open in the back, which means, and it's up in the air. And just before just after he pulls the chute and he yanks him out of the C-130, what does he say as he's being yanked out?
What's a C-130?
It's a giant plane. That giant plane that took forever in one of the Fast and Furious movies that had the big gate in the back.
Okay, now are you telling me the scenario? Because I didn't hear any of that. I just kept thinking, what's a C-130?
So the chute opens and pulls him out, sucks him out.
Right.
Got it.
So plane's up in the air. Hero just beat up a bunch of bad guys. He's got to leave the plane. In this scenario, let's just say it's because he's got to go after the other bad guy that got away. Mm-hmm. So he pulls the chute to yank him out of the plane really fast to get him away from all the bad guys he hasn't necessarily killed. So what's he say as the chute has yanked him out of the plane?
Sucks to be you.
That's a good one.
I don't know. I keep thinking of like, what would Tom Cruise say?
Can we get the Jeopardy song or something? Do, 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 do. Hurry the fuck up and get your line on going.
All I can think of is like, shoots out, bro. Like, what does that even mean, though?
I don't. Wow.
Wow.
Give me time to prepare and I could do better.
No, that's the whole part of the game.
That's the whole point.
It took me no time to figure out all my lines, and my line for this situation would be, I can see my house from here!
Oh, boy.
Okay. I'm not convinced we did a good job with that.
I'm not convinced that people are going to want that.
I did a great job. Shut up.
You know what? When we listen back to it, we'll definitely know then. But our show is independently funded, so let's segue to that. Support the Hollywood Outsider, and once you sign up, you get immediate access to all content in your respective tier, including behind the scenes of episode 400, which was really funny, where Amanda and Brian fought over who the best director of the 70s was, and it's an interesting debate.
And I was right, obviously, but
sure,
go on.
Sure. Yeah, whatever. I mean, you're here, so I don't really want to pick a fight with you. So sure. Yes, I'll concede.
I was more right.
Basically, Brian was wrong. That's where we're at.
Yeah, I know Brian and his facts.
I mean, he had to pull out facts and everything, but still.
When you have facts to support your argument, that is a mistake in today's world. Just don't bother with those.
That's some bullshit.
Unnecessary. Stick to feelings. And our Back to the Future trilogy episode, that was also there. You can sign up for that. So if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/The Hollywood Outsider, patreon.com/The Hollywood Outsider, and you will get immediate access to that stuff. Now we've got some spoiler-free reviews. And first, we're going to talk about just kind of an open discussion because everybody knows what these two things are. The first one is Hamilton. I kind of thought these guys were going to watch it because it was in the format. But on the same token, it is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time on Disney Plus. I haven't spent that much time on it since I got it.
Yeah.
So. I'm pretty sure Disney Plus asked me if I have kids if I turn on anything longer than an hour. Do you have kids? You should change the channel if you don't. Change to a different app if you don't.
Well, Hamilton, if you're not aware, it's on Disney Plus streaming. It's the stage show. It's the actual stage show of the very popular musical that nobody can get tickets to without mortgaging their house. And it's about Alexander Hamilton and his rise through the United States and what he did to propel George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and his disputes with Aaron Burr. So it's an interesting story, and it's told completely through music. So the entire thing is music. There is no, there's spoken word, but it's always to a tune. It's always to a beat. It's always, there's always some musical element to it throughout.
Oh, now, man.
It's actually very, very interesting situation, but it's all the rage. People are just raving about it that they finally got to see Hamilton. I think a lot of it is because they couldn't see it in their hometown because
I'm sure
nobody could ever get tickets. But here's what I gotta say: it looks like it would be the most amazing stage show. Like if you were there, I feel like this would be. If you were actually there in the audience, I feel like this would be an amazing show to sit through. Just enthralling. The music is fantastic. Like I went and listened to the soundtrack now. Even though I just watched the movie, the soundtrack is phenomenal. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is the lyricist who did that, and he plays Alexander Hamilton in the play. He is just brilliant. His lyrics are brilliant. The flow is brilliant. The mix of different kinds of musical styles is brilliant. It is nice to see their faces because if you were actually at the stage, you wouldn't be able to see them. All of that said, it doesn't make for a great movie. I mean, it's a good enough movie, but you're still watching a stage show, which I feel like you get a lot more excitement being there. Now, people that loved it already, they're going to rave about it. They're going to tell me I'm stupid and wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about. But I have never seen it, so I'm a novice coming to it, and I'm telling you, it was too long. It was just too long. So, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe for streaming or movie, maybe it need to be broken up, and it's not an attention issue, because I love long properties if they're compelling. And the music was compelling, but it just got tiring after a while. It's like, wow.
This is kind of what I was worried about, is that how would this transfer from stage play to film? And it just seems like part of the excitement and part of the beauty of Broadway shows are being there. That's part of what you're paying for. You're not necessarily paying just for the stage. And having that in front of your eyes or very distant from your eyes, but you're paying for that experience. It's a theater experience. Mm-hmm. It's hard to replicate, just like we've talked about, well, at least for you and I, Aaron, not Johnny, the movie theater experience. I feel like that's sort of comparable, but it's even more so with Broadway shows or any sort of play. You're not able to fully immerse yourself the way that they want you to when you're just sitting at home watching something. But it's a great alternative for people who are stuck inside, for people that always wanted to see Hamilton.
Absolutely.
So.
And you know what's funny is it actually, because I knew the history of Hamilton, which was kind of fun to watch it. And I'm like, all right, I see what they're doing. Because it's basically, they have people of color play every role that would, otherwise they're actually, they're real in real life. They were white guys. And they're all played
with the exception of the king.
Right, with the exception. Basically, all the bad guys are white people. Right. I mean, that's a fact. That's just the truth. So it's an interesting way to go about it. It's definitely very artistic. I definitely see why people love it. I just feel like it doesn't make for a fantastic movie experience. And even in a theater, I probably would have been like, wow, are we done yet? And at home, I was even, anytime you got to look at your watch, that's when, okay, it's going on a little too long. But that said,
did you gain a greater appreciation for Lin-Manuel Miranda?
Yes.
After watching this?
Yes, I will say he's not a very good singer. He's just not. I mean,
well, we knew that from Mary Poppins, but he was pretty decent there. But it wasn't anything that's like, wow.
No, but as a lyricist, man, I am so impressed. I understand the hype for him now. I've never seen In the Heights, and I look forward to that movie, which is coming out whenever theaters are allowed to open again. I've never seen that play. This really made me excited for that movie and to see what he does next, because I'm serious. Like, the music is phenomenal. Even if you don't want to watch it, just listen to the soundtrack. It's so smart. It's so smart.
Yeah, I used to listen to the soundtrack all the time. It's a wonderful soundtrack. And again, to mirror what Amanda was saying, the reason why I didn't watch it is because I knew I was going to miss something by not seeing it live. It's things that are meant to be seen live need to be seen live. When you're watching something on TV like that, at least for me, I would get very lost in the whole, well, why aren't there any special effects? They can just put effect there, right? Why don't they do this? Why are they just doing that? And why is the camera so stationary? Or something
I will
like
say
that.
The camera work is extremely well done, and there are advantages to it, because you can finally get a feel for the actor's portrayal, which you wouldn't get in a live performance, because you wouldn't be able to see their faces that clearly. Unless you're rich, you're not going to be that close to the stage where you can make out all of their faces. So that is a nice aspect. So you can get their full performance. Daveed Diggs, phenomenal. Like, I liked him a lot in Snowpiercer. I freaking loved him here. That dude has so much talent and swagger. I hope he just takes off, just shoots. Like, he is.
I'm going to start drinking every time you say swagger in these episodes.
Don't be jealous, man. A lot of people have swagger. I don't know what to tell you. If you got it, you got it. I wish I had it. Okay, let's go to Unsolved Mysteries, because we all saw this.
Yes.
Okay.
Woo!
If you weren't aware, on Netflix, they brought the series back. Now, there's no Robert Stack, who used to host it, and they no longer do like 3 or 4 mysteries per episode. Now every episode is one mystery, but it's the same thing where they're showcasing a mystery and then giving you the tip line at the end to say, hey, if you know anything about this case, call it in. And I think they solved over 260 cases over the course of this series. So what did you guys think, John, Amanda? What did you guys think of Unsolved Mysteries now that you finally have it available on the Netflix?
I never thought that you'd actually find a way to improve upon the idea of what Unsolved Mysteries is, but the Duffer Brothers, who produced this, certainly did. Not only did they find a way to bring something back that has a bit of a nostalgia to it, but they even upped the ante as far as creating it in such a way that it is artistically capable and smartly done, and every shot is actually thought through in such a great way. But it also showcased the people who are going through this so much better than the original series ever did.
I can at least give you that element where you have a little bit more emotional connection to the individuals rather than focusing on the more eerie and uncomfortable pieces of the crime. But I would definitely disagree on that this is an improvement from the original Unsolved Mysteries. There is no way this touches the original. Now, I really liked this one.
Hallelujah.
I enjoyed it.
I'm backing you up. What?
But there is
nuts.
No
Dude,
way.
No Robert Stack is huge.
I'm sorry,
Huge.
but this is basically every other true crime series that's existed. I don't feel like the format is any different other than having the nostalgic intro and having the the hotline tip reporter thing at the end. Those are the only differences from like any other true crime docuseries. And
right, but any other true crime docuseries took its cue from Unsolved Mysteries, because Unsolved Mysteries is more or less the granddaddy of them all. So,
but they're all the same, and this felt like it blended in with those and just had a little bit of nostalgia to Unsolved Mysteries. And I'm not saying that I disliked it, because I really, really did enjoy it. There was only like 1 or 2 episodes where I was like a little bit more meh on the story. But Unsolved Mysteries, there is nothing that will ever convince me that not having anything could replace Robert Stack. Because
of course not. He's dead.
His involvement, though, made that show so compelling. It made it so uncomfortable. And it made you so, like, motivated and moved to do something about it because you felt like you could be next. And I didn't get that from this.
Perfect. You know what I was thinking about this a lot, Amanda. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yes.
John is drunk.
That's
what John is. I'm telling you.
Both are nuts.
Listening.
No, man.
Go listen to the old episodes. Robert Stack had this amazing ability to sound like your grandfather and Columbo, and also the guy who's telling you were about to die. There's just like some masterful combination he had going on where I'm like, Grandpappy just told me I'm going to die. What? I was terrified when I watched that show. Anytime I watch that show, I'm like, that mofo is outside my house.
Yes.
I saw him.
Yes.
This one was very good. I'm not disputing that. I really enjoyed this. The cases were super compelling. There's a couple of them where I'm like just yelling at my TV, which is the best kind of true crime. But the one thing it does not have, which makes it impossible to top the original, was Robert Stack.
You can't have Robert Stack. Even Dennis Farina tried to be Robert Stack.
Then you can't be better than the original.
You literally said it's better than the original, and the original
I did not say that.
You did.
Wait,
you did.
Yes. Wait, I did say it was better than the original. It is better than the original because I don't give a shit about the original anymore because this is a much better way to tell a story. What? Because if you try to tell me that put some crotchety old man with a friggin' overcoat in the middle of July.
Don't you disrespect Robert Stack like that. That's my grandpappy.
For God's sakes, bring up the Crypt Keeper. Use him instead. I don't give a shit. You don't need him for friggin' Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes, you do. He was Unsolved Mysteries.
Hey, you might not need him to tell the story compellingly, which is fair. You don't need him. But it did make the show better than this one.
That's the key word.
Yes.
Yep.
That's 2 against 1. You've lost. I don't know.
I'd much rather listen to the people who it actually happened to tell me what happened
as opposed
to listen to Robert Stack.
They still did.
You still had interviews with those people.
You still did. That's what they did in
This
the old
is
show.
much more centered on them.
Sure, but he just had a way of keeping you focused and having a direction and keeping you involved. Of
course he did. He had three freaking stories to tell you in one episode. He's like, oh my God, I got to read this. Let me take a hit of this cigarette real quick before I keep going.
The difference is Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix is a docuseries. It is very much so about informing you.
The original was a docuseries.
Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying.
Ooh, you just got
very much so about a docuseries that wants to inform you and wants to get you involved in some way as to what happened. And it gets you, it brings your heart connected to these victims, the families who don't have an answer. The thing that it does not do is make you feel like you are next. And Unsolved Mysteries, the original with Robert Stack, made you feel like this could happen to you. It's not that this could happen on a TV show. I'm watching a TV show. You are more connected to the old Unsolved Mysteries because you felt like your life is going to be next. It made you scared to go to bed, but it also was not something that you wanted to turn away from. It was so compelling that you literally could not rip your eyes away from it.
Do you think it has more to do with the show and not the time in which the show came out, which was the 90s?
I've rewatched it, man. It's the same feeling. I
get the same thing now, yeah.
He had a complete,
you guys need drugs.
Utter ability to embed humanity and fear into his narration. He was a very, very rare, very much like Rod Serling. Rod Serling has the same ability where if he's narrating, there is much more compelling, much more of a compelling nature going on to that narration than there is when anyone else does it. And not having that is just a noticeable difference. That it doesn't make the show bad. I know, but you said it's better, and I'm saying it can't be better unless you have a better aspect
unless
to it.
You resurrect him.
Unless you bring him back from the dead. Maybe you do that. I don't know.
Maybe that's the next Unsolved Mystery. How did Robert Stack come back to Unsolved Mysteries?
You're a big fan of Romero. Maybe Romero can do it. Well, no, he can't. I don't know how you do it, but apparently that would make it better.
Somebody pick up Stack's jaw again. It fell off. We got to move it around some more. Just give him a little peanut butter. It'll start moving around on its own. The worms will start kicking in.
But we can all agree that the show is really compelling.
Yep, definitely.
And you want more of it, right? We all want more of it?
Oh, absolutely.
What episode was your favorite?
Ooh, favorite.
I don't like saying the word favorite when it's true crime.
Okay, which one made you the most, got you the most emotionally charged?
Well, there's one episode that's the saddest, and that's the Alonzo episode. That one's just the saddest.
Man, worst friends ever. Worst friends ever.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, friends, you suck. And I hope you all get your ass kicked.
People are terrible.
Yes, you're terrible people.
The Alonzo episode was the saddest. There was one that I thought was the most compelling, and I don't remember if it was the hairdresser one or one of the other ones. What were the other
Skull
episodes
Cutler?
Again?
I would man, probably the last one, the Lena story, because
that one was
so infuriating. Just so infuriating.
I hope somebody has some evidence on that mom.
I mean, if she did it,
Did Carol Baskins do it?
Oh, I think that woman is Carol Baskins. I don't know, but that was the hardest one to watch. It was very infuriating to watch because it's like, don't you have enough? What do you need? And then you realize that's just not how the courts work. I mean, I get it, but God, it is infuriating.
Yeah, mine is between that one and the first episode. The first episode with Ray, it was like, what? Oh,
what do you mean? He jumped 45 feet? He pole vaulted?
Outward and down? How did his glasses not break? Are they made of Nokia?
Apparently it's JFK. What? It's up and to the left. Wait, what? That math doesn't work.
Did he sprint off of that 6-inch ledge?
It was insane.
Right.
A full running start.
It's insane.
He placed his glasses and his phone down first, though.
And we're not laughing at the victim. Just the idea that somebody's like,
the concept that somebody wrote this off the way that they did.
Oh, it's compelling.
Just bizarre.
Pause this podcast. Go watch these, man. These are super compelling.
Seriously.
All right. Well, all thumbs up for Unsolved Mysteries then. And if you listen to John, better than the original. Better than the original. That's, well, I would say his
for
email
two people
address,
who complain about nostalgia like you guys do, you're being awfully nostalgic about it.
No,
it's not about nostalgia. It's just, it's not better. It's...
Let it go.
You're the one who brought it back
She's
up,
the one that
man.
said it's better. Okay, let's go.
It is better.
I've got reviews. No, it's not. 2-1. This is a democracy, and you've been outvoted.
Not a cheerocracy.
There's no electoral college here, brother. All right, let's go to the Outpost.
All right, The Outpost. A small team of U.S. soldiers battle against hundreds of Taliban fighters in Afghanistan. This is directed by Rob Laurie. This stars Orlando Bloom, Scott Eastwood. Milo Gibson makes an appearance in this. Do we know who Milo Gibson is, people?
It's Mel Gibson's kid.
Mel Gibson's kid. He looks like the spitting image of his father, too. That's kind of creepy. Anyhow, so...
it's not his fault.
Aaron, what can you tell... Huh?
It's not his fault. And that's not a bad thing. His father's a handsome guy. He might be a wackadoo, but he's a handsome fellow.
I didn't say anything's wrong with it. I just was saying, it looks like a spitting image. Would you stop interrupting me?
Sorry.
It's like the interrupting cow over here. Jesus. All right. Can you tell me a little bit what's going on in this whole movie, Aaron, and how do you feel about that?
Do I have the talking stick?
No, you have the talking stick now.
It was very different.
Knock, knock.
I hate you. Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Okay. All right. So...
Why?
I don't even know what just happened.
Interrupting cow.
This is based on the book by Jake Tapper. It's directed by Rod Lurie, who directed a fantastic film called The Contender. If you've never seen it, please find it. It's not exactly...
Yeah, but I asked you about the Outpost.
Yes, I'm getting there.
Stay on point.
It's about the Battle of Kamdesh, which was... There was an outpost that the military held, and it was basically in the center of mountains. The center in Afghanistan, the center of these mountains. So it's basically like the small outpost and then mountains all around it. So they're surrounded, so the Taliban can come at them in any direction. And they were getting shot at constantly. And then one day, all of these insurgents just started attacking them. And the film builds to that. So like the first hour is getting to know all of the characters on the base and what their tics are, or what it means to be on that base, how ridiculous it is that they're even trying to man this base because it really is indefensible. By all accounts. And when they get attacked by 5 times as many men as they have, and they're in a foothold that they can't gain the upper advantage on, it's a harrowing and infuriating situation. And the movie really captures that. The first half is just getting to know the characters, and the second half is the battle itself. It's a really solid film based on that. And if you like a riveting war action film, it's very good too.
So would you say that they, like Obi-Wan, need the high ground?
Lord. Okay. No, I wouldn't say that. I will say, one thing I noticed, Scott Eastwood looks so much like his dad here. Like, he just looks so much like Clint Eastwood in certain moments. He's just not, he doesn't have the same gravitas that Clint Eastwood has, but he's got the same look, though, a couple times. I'm like, wow, you look just like your dad, man. And then you talk, I'm like, well, you're not your dad, man.
Yeah, speaking of his gravitas, how is the acting in this? Anyone stand out to you?
It's solid across the board. Nobody's going to get an Oscar or anything. Caleb Landry Jones as Carter did a particularly memorable job. He's one where he's got an attitude through most of the movie, and then it just goes into almost shell shock, like the trauma. He's one where the trauma really affects him, and he does a really strong job of presenting that. And once the action pops, cool. It pops. Like, it's fantastic to watch.
All right, so what's your score?
$10 full price of admission. I give The Outpost $7. It's on video on demand right now.
All right, cool. So Amanda watched The Beach House. A romantic getaway for two troubled college sweethearts turns into a struggle of survival when unexpected guest and the surrounding environment exhibit signs of a mysterious infection. This is written and directed by Jeffrey A. Brown. Amanda, how did Jeffrey do with this story that he created?
You know, the story has a really interesting component that I haven't seen very often, which is trying to take horror and combine it with like biology and environmental biology and organisms. And it was very interesting for that concept. And I think for the most part, he did well. There were some moments where it was just kind of off-putting the way that things were handled in terms of the story. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I will say that it built tension and it built that, apprehension we have to just saying we know what's going to happen. Because in the story, you do not understand what is happening until you get to the part where you figure out what's happening. And even then, you're kind of like, that's interesting. I don't fully understand it, but you don't have to fully understand how it all works. It's very bizarre.
All right. How was the acting in it? Did anything stand out to you?
You know, this was something that I was really, really pleased with because I was a little concerned that maybe it was going to be very generic or, just all simpletons. But most of the cast did really, really well. And
I love that word.
For the most part, there's like exceptional moments for a couple of cast members, but all of them present their value. And that goes in with the supporting cast. So it's not just your main ones that are taking the lead. Our protagonist, Liana Liberato, she does a great job. Noah LaGrasse he plays Randall, the boyfriend of Emily, played by Liana Liberato. But I will say that the couple that was in the household with them, Marianne Nagel and Jake Weber, those two also played really, really well. I was almost more compelled by their performances than anything else. And when you first start off the movie, you're like, I don't see this being anything beyond generic, kind of like I was saying. But you get those really, really awesome, impactful moments. And so that really boosted my entertainment level with this film.
Didn't you, in your written review, didn't you say that the director basically has a Michael Bay fetish with the actress where he just kept slowly focusing every time she took her clothes off?
It was so weird because
I just think this is funny.
Yes, it's super weird because it's not like this character is sexualized in any capacity. She's not meant to be sexy. She's kind of like off-putting herself where she kind of covers herself on her own. But because you're at a beach, there's moments where she's changing clothes. And whenever she changes clothes, it's seriously like a VHS tape. You know how it would like kind of just did it and it would hold over for a couple seconds longer in one spot because it was like paused or something. Mm-hmm. That's almost what it felt like was happening when we got to like her chest and her stomach when she was changing clothes. And I was like, why do we need to look at this for so long and like sexualize her changing clothes?
Well, I mean, that's how we see it.
I guess that's fair. But it was just very bizarre because she's a very young girl in the movie.
I take that back.
I don't know. She's got to be in like her early 20s.
Oh, that's okay. So then. Like, never mind. I put it back out there.
Play ball.
It just didn't fit with the rest of the film. That's the thing that I was like a little taken back by is that why not just sexualize her through the whole thing instead of just these weird moments?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Jeez.
Oh God.
I think we need that. I think not only why wouldn't they? Why don't we have enough more of that? Right.
That's not necessarily what I was saying, but I pick up what you're putting down, Johnny.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too. All right, what's your score on this?
I'm giving it $6.
$6? That actually sounds pretty good. I have to check that out.
It's definitely interesting.
It's on Shudder, right? Shudder? July 9th? Shudder?
It is July 9th.
Cool. All right, last review. Psych 2, Lassie Come Home, which comes out July 15th on the Peacock Network, the new streaming network that you get free if you're a Comcast customer.
Yeah, for those 5 people who are still paying astronomical prices, you can get this.
Oh, man. Just how? I paid for it.
So Aaron screened this bad boy a little early. Mm-hmm. Of course, we all know that Aaron loves his Psych. Santa Barbara's chief of police, Carlton Lassiter, played by Timothy Omenson, has been shot several times, suffered a stroke, and left for dead, as we saw in the last film. His attack has left his memory devoid of the assailant's identity, and he believes suspicious activity is afoot at the Herschel House Recovery Center, and therefore needs the assistance of his friendly foes, Sean and Gus, to get to the bottom of it all. Though Sean and Gus left Santa Barbara for San Francisco at the end of the series and the first film, Psych 2 allows them to revisit their old stomping grounds, including their hipster, reimagined former office, to uncover the truth. Aaron, I know that you were so excited for this, but I have to ask you about one of the most prominent themes in this film, or I guess aspects of it. They literally changed the script to accommodate Timothy Omenson because he had a real-life stroke. How did you feel about the story being tailored to him, and did it work for his character?
Well, I mean, they do a really good job of making it so it doesn't seem like they had to do that last-minute switch. I mean, it feels like a movie. It feels, well, let's be honest. I mean, it feels like a very well put together extended episode of the show, which is what you want in the movie, really, if you're a fan of the show.
Right.
And it didn't take me out of it. I thought it was kind of interesting the way that they did it, because if you didn't know, Timothy Omenson did have a stroke, and he is kind of debilitated because of the stroke. So he's very limited in what he can do and what he can't do. And they wrote to that, like in the movie, he's been shot several times. I think it was 6 times. And he had a stroke. So he's very much suffering with a lot of different things. And it's not distracting, though.
Yeah. And so they're paying their respects to making sure that this actor can come back and play the role that he's always played for the show and keep him invested in the property. Did you feel like Sean and Gus were the same dudes that you've always known them to be?
Yeah. I don't, like, they're idiots, right? They're hungry idiots. That's really, I mean, they can solve crime, sure. James Roday, Dule Hill, they haven't missed a step. The humor's very ridiculous. It's silly. The mystery's very Scooby-Doo. They're getting in all kinds of trouble. They're eating everybody's food. They're stealing snacks left and right.
I can relate. They
wear ridiculous get-ups. There's one part where they're in an ice bar, and they're basically just wearing parkas or something. And it's just like everything that happens in the movie is mostly ridiculous. But it's ridiculous in the way that those two can make work. You know, they are just very hyper realized people. The characters are just in that way. They're just hyper. They're just crazy. They're loons, and they make it work. So yes, they haven't missed a step. It very much suits them. It's very funny when they get going, especially when they start doing their riffs. There's a few bumps in terms of the comedy here and there, but not very often.
Now, you say that it feels like an extended episode of the show. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that anybody who has never seen the show or the first film can come into this and understand what's going on? Or does it really rely on your understanding of the series? I
mean, just like the show and the first movie, I mean, a lot of what they do on the show, what Steve Franks, the creator, has always done is kind of made them self-contained. So I do think you could just pick it up and watch it. This one in particular feels more driven by the characters themselves, as I feel like most of the later seasons of Psych were. It was more character driven, so you had to know the characters a little bit. But you could pick it up and watch it and still have fun with it. I don't think you'll enjoy it as much if you don't know the characters, especially Lassiter, because his being debilitated is quite the change from his previous role.
So if the full price of admission were $10, which if you're going through Comcast, it is about 4 times that much, what are you giving Psych 2 Lassie Come Home?
On the cheap side.
I'm giving
if you're lucky.
I'm giving it $7.50. Peacock's free if you're a Comcast customer, but I'm giving it $7.50. And I do want to point out there's a lot of father and son talk at the heart of this one. And there's one scene in particular between Henry and Sean, which it really bothered me. Like this is my favorite show probably of all time, or at least in the top 3. And the series finale, which I loved, the one thing I wish it would have had was a better closing moment between Henry, his father, and him, Sean. And I don't feel like they really had that moment that the show deserved. And in this movie, I feel like I finally got the moment I wanted in the series finale. So to me, the whole movie was worth it just for that moment. Like, sincerely, because that relationship is probably my second favorite thing about the show, next to Sean and Gus themselves.
So this one really filled your heart.
Yes, it does. And at the very end, it's very heartwarming as well. So there's definitely a lot of heart in this one. You can tell they really were doing this for Timothy Omenson. You can feel the love through and through. I really believe that.
Can you feel it in the air tonight?
Hey-oh! Isn't it Lion King?
No.
It's not? Can you feel the love?
It's Phil Collins.
Oh.
Can you feel it coming?
Oh, that's
in the
Can you
air
feel the
tonight?
love in the air tonight?
Both of you are butchering this to all the high heaven.
This is really bad. Let's move to new releases or something. Get me out of here.
Okay, Relic comes out on video on demand July 10th. A daughter, a mother, and a grandmother are haunted by a manifestation of dementia that consumes their family's home. Stars Emily Mortimer. Okay.
That sounds like fun. On Netflix, we have The Old Guard. A covert team of immortal mercenaries are suddenly exposed and must fight to keep their identity a secret just as an unexpected new member is discovered. This is directed by Gina Bythewood.
Oh, yeah, her.
Sure.
Yeah, that's easy to say.
Reviews are saying that this
it
is a
stars
fantastic movie, by the way.
What's that?
Reviews are saying this is a fantastic movie, by the way.
Well, it stars absolutely no one that we care about, except for Charlize Theron.
That's
I'm
a
kidding.
pretty big one.
I was kidding. She will tell. Edgy4 is also in this. I mean, it looks like it's got a really solid cast.
Well, First Cow is coming to VOD. A Lassitern loner and skilled cook, John Magaro, has traveled west and joined a group of fur trappers in Oregon Territory, though he only finds true connection with the Chinese immigrant, played by Orion Lee, also seeking his fortune. Soon the two collaborate on a successful business, although its longevity is reliant upon the clandestine participation of a nearby wealthy landowner's prized milking cow. It's coming from A24, so you know it's going to be weird.
Which is better than a juicing cow.
Thank God. Last one, Guest of Honor. Video on demand. Veronica wants to remain in jail for sexual assault she knew she's been wrongly indicted for. She and her father, Jim, find themselves acting out of the bounds of good behavior as the past haunts them. This is from Atom Igoyan, director of The Sweet Hereafter. Now we have our From the Outside In topic. All right, favorite TV catchphrases. Now this topic's going to be loosey-goosey. We're just going to run through them. I'm going to do the catchphrases like we picked from listeners and some famous ones because of different polls that are out there on the interwebs. We picked the top 20 TV catchphrases, and I'm going to go through them. I'm going to name what the catchphrase is, and you guys tell me if you can guess what the TV show that it's from is. Ready?
Okay. Go.
And then we're each we'll talk about our favorite ones and why they're our favorites. So here we go. 1 through 20. Top 20. Ready? What you talking about, Willis?
Different folks. Gary Coleman.
Strokes.
Different folks?
I mean strokes. I don't know why I said folks. I tried to go so fast.
That was amazing. That's a show I haven't seen. Okay. Next one. Don't Make Me Angry.
The Incredible Hulk.
Yep. There you go. Oh!
Simpsons.
Oh, yeah. Homer Simpson.
Good night, John Boy.
The Waltons.
Very good.
Did you study these?
No.
He's just old.
Okay.
This comes with being old and watching TV a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fill in the blank, Batman.
Batman. 1966.
Oh my God, he's got the date? How am I supposed to compete with this?
I don't know. You better step up your game. Well, this one, I don't even know. Amanda, I don't even know if you were alive when this one came out. Homie, don't play that.
In living color.
Oh, yeah. I knew that one. It took me a second, though.
Also, almost the name of one of the greatest bands of all time.
You know, for a while, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought they were the same.
Wow.
I
They
know.
don't all look alike, Amanda.
Oh, no. I always thought it like living color, and then I
Wow.
never noticed the in living color. Don't.
Wow. We're going to move right on. All right, next one. How you doing?
Oh, Joey from Friends.
Ooh, she beat you.
I had to let her have one.
Wow, you just got a pity one. I love it when a plan comes together.
The A-Team.
Ooh, look at this. Is that your final answer?
Oh, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, you guys are tied. You're tied.
No, I got that one a little faster.
No, I got
Play
it
back the
first.
recording.
Fight.
I'll delay
Fight.
you in the recording.
All right, here's what. This is one of my favorites. I was so glad it was on the poll. I'm like, yay. I say this to my wife all the time. Jane, you ignorant slut.
I don't know, but should you
Saturday
be saying
Night
that to your
Live.
wife?
Yeah, I should. Yes, John, correct. It's from Saturday Night Live. Yeah, it's Amanda. She loves that bit. She thinks it's hysterical. And if
I don't know this bit. I didn't watch a whole lot of SNL.
It's so far beyond. It's actually older than you by at
Why
least
do I have
twice
to
your
keep
age.
bringing up my age? You know how many things that came out before you guys were born that you've watched?
I'm saying it's twice your age.
It's almost older than we are. It's basically it's Dan
Yeah.
Aykroyd and Jane Curtin are news anchors, and it's very much he's a misogynist. He is, and every time
Well,
she
obviously.
says something to him that's very cold or curt, He goes, Jane, you ignorant slut. And it's funny. Would it play today? Probably not.
Probably not.
But it's freaking funny. And my wife thinks it's funny.
I'll let it slide.
And her name is Jane, so that kind of helps. Just one more thing.
Ooh.
I don't know this one.
Columbo.
Oh, all right.
Just one more thing. Yeah, I should have done it with my finger in the air. All right, this is the easiest freaking one ever. We have to go back.
Lost.
We have to go back.
That one's on the list?
We have to go.
I even wrote that one down.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have to go back and give you a proper series finale that you deserve. Sure, Jan.
The Brady Bunch.
All right. Live long and prosper. Easy.
Come on, Amanda.
That one's Star Trek.
God damn it! You should have known that one.
I almost said it, but then I stopped.
Oh, we're done. We're done. We only got 6 left. All right. No soup for you.
Seinfeld.
Oh, I don't like that show. That's fine.
Okay.
I don't like it either.
You're fired.
Oh, that's Trump and his thing. That show where they fire people. It's a business show. There you go.
Okay. Here we go. Just think gifts here. Bazinga.
Oh, this one's oh goodness, with the dorky guy. Big Bang Theory, yeah.
You're welcome.
Yabba dabba doo.
The Flintstones.
Oh, that's Flintstones.
2 thumbs up.
Siskel and Ebert.
And lastly, The Tribe Has Spoken.
There's no The Office in here?
No.
You're gonna get this one?
No, I don't know this one.
You don't know what The Tribe Has Spoken means?
Oh, that's Survivor. Sorry.
Oh, for friggin' sake.
Well, I hope everybody playing along at home had some fun with that. Now,
I hope everyone at home realizes that John knew most of them and actually had to create space so that Amanda can say a few things for once.
I just feel like you're
that's super rude.
Yeah, I thought that was very rude. I hope you're happy with yourself.
I was being nice.
That's your version of nice.
Until you called it out, and then you were like, I was so nice that I gave her all this space.
I'm doing the Joss Whedon nice.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Applause. There you go.
Well, you're getting canceled, buddy.
Wow.
You're fired.
All right. Let's do, we each brought up to 5 of our favorite TV catchphrases. Brandon, why don't you go through yours, and we'll see if we can guess yours now. So now it's John and I going against each other.
Okay. Well, 2 of them were taken out. So that's what she said. Do you want me to say it differently? That's what she said.
The Office?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that's...
It's a no from me, dog.
Hang on. That's... Wait. I want to go back. That's what she said. I mean, a lot of people have always said that, so I don't know if that's fair to.
But it was like very prominent in the show.
All right.
Yeah, that's.
All right. I was okay.
Don't take away my
lines. And the
lines.
No For Me Dog is that singing show, the American Idol.
Yep. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. I think only John might get this one.
Call me,
beat me
if you want to reach me. You guys,
that one's not right.
Is it an Ike and Tina Turner show?
No, it's a cartoon.
Not beat. It's beep.
Oh, okay.
Beep. Call me, beep me.
Yeah, I did not think it was an appropriate catchphrase.
Think 2000s. It's definitely not older than that.
Call me, beep me.
If you want to reach me.
That was a catchphrase?
It was actually part of the song, but it was always one of the things that like you took away from the show.
Apparently,
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Apparently, I didn't take it away from that show. Or that was.
That's okay. I don't think you've ever seen it, Aaron. It's Kim Possible.
No.
Oh, no.
Definitely.
Okay, this one, if Aaron doesn't get it, I'm going to be so disappointed. Okay. You done messed up, AA Ron.
Key appeal. Yeah.
Yep.
Boy, I've never heard that one before.
In your whole life,
and
ever? Wow.
Yeah, he didn't even watch Key and Peele, and he knows that.
Yeah. Let me tell you a secret. If I ever meet Jordan Peele, the greatest film director of all time, according to Amanda M. Sink.
Oh my God.
I'm going to kick his ass just for that bit. Because everybody...
He's not even the one who did it.
Okay, well then, Key, whoever did it,
Keegan-Michael Keel?
Whoever wrote it.
Key?
Yeah, there you go. Whoever wrote it.
Mike and Keel.
Just anybody that's named Aaron, it
Kegel,
sucks.
my Kegel away? What?
Oh, don't talk about Kegels.
And everybody that does that joke think it's the first time you've ever heard it. Everybody. You done messed up, Aaron.
Therapy for Aaron at the moment.
Let's talk about how it's affected my life.
John, what are yours?
Well, 2 of mine are going to be super easy, so let me get those right out of the way. Suck it.
Oh, well then
Psych.
that's going to be Psych.
Right. Let's get the other one out of the way.
Right.
Wait for it.
You know that's right.
Yeah. All right. So another one, you guys aren't going to get this, but Hocus Pocus hologram on.
Transformers.
I do not know this.
You're so close, but no.
I'm trying to think of robots because it's got to be robots. It's always you. Voltron.
No.
Power Rangers.
No. Okay, now you're
I'm just thinking of nerd shit.
Give us a hint.
It does actually fit with Transformers a little bit.
GoBots?
Not that much. Try less robot. But
G.I. Joe?
Still some Transformers.
G.I. Joe? Oh.
No.
Also Thundercats? Oh, no. I'm just going to run through every cartoon I know you watch.
Mask. It was Mask.
That would have been last on the list, so thank God you broke it out.
All right. So knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
All right. And Roll Out.
Isn't that one Transformers?
That one's Transformers.
I kind of feel bad I didn't get that right away, but okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like shouldn't it
And then, of
count?
course-
Shouldn't it count because I already said it? So
Because you said it, you were just like, no.
Right. You
I'm
were
ahead of the
actually
curve, brother.
Yeah, you were answering the question that hadn't come out yet because you know the recording and how to do the editing, you answered it before it actually
Oh, no,
happened.
he's not editing this one.
I spliced that. Yeah, Amanda's doing this one. So if you hate the editing in this episode, Amanda M. Sink.
Right.
And Aaron
Right.
taught me,
All
so
right. That's all mine.
Aaron Peterson. Aaron, what about yours then? Because maybe I'll get some of yours because I'm not doing so hot. on
I
these.
think mine are relatively easy. Okay, the truth is out there.
Oh, that's X-Files.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm Wayne Brady, bitch.
Oh, that one's Dave Chappelle.
That's right. And also, I'm rich, bitch. That's my other favorite.
That's also yeah. I'm rich, bitch.
I could probably go through about 20 just from that one show.
Oh my god, I forgot about Dave Chappelle's ones.
This is one I doubt either one of you will get. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready.
But I'm feeling much better now.
Oh shit.
I've heard this one though.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's very distracting. I don't know the answer.
Give?
Is he Googling it?
No, that's not fair. Night Court.
No.
That's from Night Court.
Oh, I was thinking Moonlighting at first, and then I was like, no, that's not it. So what's the other one?
Wait, did you say Night Court?
I said Night Court, yep. But I'm feeling
Which-
much better now. That's what somebody always said when they did something wacky.
Right.
Is
Right.
it the white dude with the lawyer guy or
Dan
whatever?
Fielding, but yes, everyone said it.
At least I could picture it, though. I knew I heard it before.
I knew I heard it before too. I was trying to remember where it went, but Night Court's too far out of the memory to catch
Understood. All right. Got two more. Ruh-roh.
Oh, Scooby-Doo.
it. Scooby-Doo.
And then my last one. Damn it!
Every show ever?
Mm-mm. Nope. Not every show ever. One show.
I'm surprised there's not the Hawaii Five-0 one.
Damn it! Oh, Bookem Dano?
Yeah.
That would be.
I don't
Scooby-Doo.
use that one. Like, these are all ones I use in my life all the
that's true.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the damn it.
24.
Oh!
Jack Bauer, like every other
For
episode.
shame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only because you couldn't say fuck.
Now let me. That's true. That is true. Now let me ask you, guys. We just went through a ton of catchphrases, and I'm sure everybody's sitting there yelling their own, and they've got a ton of favorites that they haven't heard or they wish we would bring up. Why do you guys think that they stay with us because we love the show, or just because it's fun to say? Which one do you think it is with catchphrases? Like, why do they stick with us so much?
It's a combination of both, but because in some ways, a lot of these shows that we watch are reflections of ourselves, and we glam onto the things that we can see ourselves saying, and it makes it fun. It makes us feel connected to those characters, and it makes us feel like we're connected to some sort of fantasy that we're missing out on.
Look, we obviously connected with the phrase when it was said, whether it was the delivery or it was the moment of the show and it was really impactful for that reason. Whatever it was, it's a combination of the two of them, like John was saying, because Kim Possible, I liked the show. I was never infatuated with it, but I do say, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Why do I say that? I don't know. I have no explanation other than I think it's kind of fun. So, but on the other hand, That's What She Said is A, awesome to use in any inappropriate scenario, and B, is from a good show. So
I prefer that's the title of your sex tape.
that is such a good one. How did I not think of Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Oh my God,
you're
for
a terrible
shame.
person. I left it way open for you.
John uses it all the time.
I really do.
Literally all
I
the
as
time.
well. I hear it all the time. It's great.
My wife uses it back and forth to each other all the time.
Yep.
You know what? I really was thinking about this, like before we were doing this podcast, because I know we were going to do the catchphrases and just mostly have fun, but I also want to discuss it a little bit. It really brings people together. Do you ever notice that? Like if you're out, and especially if you use something all the time, if you suck it or wait for it, like from Psych, and somebody knows it, you've got an instant friend because you can bond over whatever the show
Right.
is. You use Ruh-roh. Everybody knows Scooby-Doo. So it's like a common thing. You know, there's always the one thing I find with, especially with TV, is there's always a common ground. There's something that you can understand with somebody else, even if you don't relate on any other way. But if you drop the right catchphrase or the right line from a TV show, odds are you're going to make a friend, or you're at least going to find some common ground. And there's just something about dropping a stupid line from a TV show you love, or hearing somebody do it and you guys are just having a conversation about why you love that show, that, hey, we can find some common ground even when things are a little bit absurd out there.
It's a great icebreaker. And I think when we talk about, so water cooler conversations used to be a really good icebreaker between coworkers where they could have a conversation about shows, even though they might not necessarily connect in other ways. If you use a catchphrase just so commonly that it's able to connect you with other people, like Aaron's talking about, you are easily able to break that and ease the connection with other people.
Wow. Both of those sounded like the exact same thing. You guys are really connected, aren't you?
You know, that's
I'm
right.
just saying it's a way for us, even though we're in a streaming service and we're all at home and not able to have water cooler conversations really anymore, it's still a way for us to connect the way that we used to be able to.
And can I just say, I have to state this because odds are somebody by this point in the episode, and this was intentional, I just want you to know, hopefully you've realized that I used the wrong Wayne Brady line. It's actually, is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a bitch? But I said on Wayne Brady bitch because I just want to see if people were paying attention. Not that I totally screwed it up and wrote it down wrong.
And that's his story and he's sticking to it.
So really it's on you for not catching that immediately. I was just testing you.
Right.
Did you pass? I don't know if you passed. Is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a bitch? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do we need better listeners? Is that what you're trying to say?
Put it back in their lap. Now, can possibly be my fault, but I'm trying to get away from that retraction I'm going to have to do next week. So I'm covered it this week. Boom. Done.
Right. Good on you, man. Good on you. Way to grow.
You know what? That's it. This show is really easy, really simple. We're just having some fun this week. You know, we might have some fun next week. I got a couple ideas floating. We'll see what you guys think about them. But any recent recommendations you guys want to tell people that we haven't already talked? We talked about a ton of shows and movies already, but is there anything that you're watching that you didn't mention?
Well, John and I have both seen a few episodes of this new show called Warrior Nun, and I personally am really enjoying it. I like the way that there's a little bit of narration and there's a bit of comedy, but it's also like a dark superhero sort of thing, and it's got the religious element to it, which can always create, you know, that contrast of good and evil. So I'm enjoying it, and I've heard mixed reviews from others about it, so it might just depend on your preferences. What about you, John?
I saw the first 2 episodes of it, and I mostly enjoyed them. I don't necessarily have a problem with the show, with the exception of it's just not something that's jumping up and grabbing me like it should be, because it looks like something that is right out of like the Venn diagram of things that I love.
Yeah.
I love the idea of good versus evil. I love the idea of demons and angels. I love all of that, and some sort of like religious use of like, or fake use of the church to create some sort of superhero thing. I like that too. The main character is very interesting to a degree, but at the same time, I sort of feel like I'm watching something that's not designed for me.
There's 2 weird things. One, she has basically a coaster burned into her back, which is
a coaster.
Well, it's a halo, but
it's basically where God puts his drink every now and again. So I don't know. That's a weird thing. The other thing is it has a narration, because I did watch the first 2 episodes too. I'm okay with it. I'm bored yet. So maybe I'll give it another one. I honestly don't know. I don't like the narration. She has an inner monologue that you hear, and I'm not a fan of it so far.
I've watched a lot of shows with the inner monologue and narration, and at first it was a little off-putting, but then I was like, you know how many shows I watch with that? Like, I'm fine with it, and she's funny, so.
I would actually prefer it if they stopped the inner monologue and had her break the 3rd wall and look at the camera.
I would love that. Yep.
That would actually be the one improvement that I can think to use on the inner monologue. But yeah, it's something that I will sit down and watch some more of when I have more time. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like Amanda's really enjoying it, so it could be really worth your time too.
You know what? I've been watching. I watched the first 2 episodes of that. I watched 4 or 5 episodes of Doom Patrol on HBO Max. I know the 2nd season just started, but I'm 4 or 5 into the 1st season. I don't know if I'm going to continue. It's just probably a little too weird for my enjoyment. Some people love that show, and that's fine. Like I've enjoyed parts of it, but as a whole, I'm I'm not into it. So I don't know. And I've been watching a lot of Breakout Kings on Hulu. I don't know why. I just started rewatching that series.
Oh, nice.
I always enjoyed it when it was on. It only lasted like 2 seasons, but it was always fun to watch. Ridiculous, stupid, easy breezy show.
I like the connection that it had to
Prison Break.
Prison Break. I like the connection, how they brought out some of the characters from Prison Break for that. It's like, how did these guys keep breaking out of jail? Jesus.
Oh man, Teabag's in a whole episode. I'm like, isn't this like an 8th time? Why is he not in maximum security locked down with a guy sitting on his head? I don't understand how he's this easy to get out.
So I watched Eurovision, the Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga.
Oh boy.
Stars Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams, and Dan Stevens.
Uh-huh.
I absolutely adored this movie. I haven't liked Will Ferrell in a lot of things for years now, and this movie was like Will Ferrell of old, and it was great. Rachel McAdams was super, super charming and sweet to watch, and then Dan Stevens is hysterical. He is acting his weird, freaking goofy ass off, and he is doing such a good job in his role, and I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the music. The music was so much fun, and I can't. If you liked old school Will Ferrell, you like Richard McAdams, you like Dan Stevens, you liked Pitch Perfect, and then some crack, definitely watch this.
That's a hell of a combination.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, well, share your thoughts on this episode or anything else in our Facebook group or Twitter at BuyPopcorn. Our website is thehollywoodoutsiders.com. Our email is feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. And you can rate and subscribe us on whatever app you're listening to. You can find John's artwork on Insta and Twitter at rjohndraws, Amanda on Veronica's Marshmallows, which just came back, and,
whoop, whoop.
and Smirk, which just went away for a while, and at Sink Into
Don't
This.
say it like that.
At Sink Into This on Twitter, and me on the Blacklist Exposed and Presenting Hitchcock, and at Aaron Smirks. Now, the HO Teachable Minute, which we haven't had in a little bit, in 1 minute or less. John, tell us something you learned from movies or TV this past week.
All right, so so from Eurovision, there's a whole thing in Eurovision where they have this ongoing joke about how it's silly, how people from Iceland still like believe that elves are a thing, which is like their kind of their deities, and it all pays off at the end of the movie. But the whole thing taught me, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but the whole thing taught me that sometimes, even if people are doing things that you don't agree with or you think is weird, you know, give it a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Not too much, but just enough to save your life at one point.
It's like a tease. It's like you're just baiting me, so I have to watch this movie. And the people listening, so they have to watch this movie.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah, that's all he's trying to do. That's his entire purpose with this episode.
It's like, did Farrell's check clear or what? I mean,
a whole lot of things just got paid off.
Good for you. You know, I might check it out just because of Dan Stevens and Rachel McAdams.
That's a perfectly good reason to check it out.
Because, you know, Farrell at full Farrell is a little too feral.
He's not at full feral.
That's what you keep saying, but I
like
watched the trailer.
Feral or something.
Dude, he's sitting there with a long freaking Norse god wig on, and he keeps talking like, I mean, he talks in an accent. That feels like full Will Ferrell to me.
Nope.
There's a scene where he's on Dan Stevens, and he's supposed to be hitting him, but his fists aren't even touching him. It's so absurd.
Maybe you two have different definitions of full Will Ferrell.
Because that just feels like full Will Ferrell to me.
No.
All right.
I
will watch it.
Full Will Ferrell is rather annoying. This is the kind of Will Ferrell that makes you want to watch things like Talladega Nights over and over again.
So it's like Ricky Bobby Will Ferrell.
Yeah, it's more like that Will Ferrell. Like you can watch Anchorman over and over and over again because of some of the stuff he does. You can watch Talladega Nights over and over again. You know, you can watch Blades of Glory. Sure,
easy on
he's
that
doing
one.
something. Well,
Easy.
I like. There's such a thing as a Will Ferrell movie that no matter what the quality of the movie is, it's for some reason you end up watching it over and over because of like what it is. And this is one of those movies. It fits in that category so well.
Maybe he should do the narration for Unsolved Mysteries for next season.
That would be so awesome. It'd make it even better than I think it is now.
Maybe it would finally be better than the original.
Whoa!
Yeah, it would be.
Just kidding.
Aggressive.
That's so ridiculous.
Aggressive.
That's it. We're out. You know what? The next time you go to a theater,
aggressive.
Be aggressive.
next time you go to a theater, which is going to be in 2026, buy popcorn. And listen to episode 400. That was fun.
Man.
Fun times.
Just put an S.
What?
S for silence.
I'll try to remember.
Okay.
I'm going to the clip. But I'll try.
That means that he's going to have to trust that you're assuming you're going to silence the right person.
Mm-hmm. I'll figure it out.
Oh, boy.
If it's me talking, then I'll keep talking. If it's Aaron talking, then I'll make sure he's silenced.
That is the control.
There's going to be an awful lot of me not in this show.
No.
I guess every time you get snide with her, she's going to be able to take care of that right away.
John's right the fuck out of here again.
Yep.
Was John on this episode? I don't know what happened to him.
Why didn't you guys tell me at the beginning that John wasn't going to be on the episode? Where was he?
So awkward. I feel like she was doing the Holly Berry version of that. What? No, that's just not going to work.
That joke is terrible.
Shut
You're gonna write a note down to make sure that gets edited out, or just gonna leave it all in?
I'll put it in the outtakes.
My terrible joke. Got it. Write a letter. All right. Talk about
she's already ready to pull herself out of things.
Wait, what?
Maybe she's already pulling out of things. I mean, it sounds like a guy already.
Oh, goodness.
Shit. I'm going to walk right past that one. Going to tiptoe right past it. Amanda, you can line those tracks up with that. Try to get it as close as you can.
I did that.
I'll try not to be a control freak,
thing.
and I'll just, leave. I'll just be quiet. We'll see how it goes.
You're going to listen to an episode for the first time in forever, though. Your drink sounded like you were going like a Spider-Man thwip.
That's what I was doing. Sometimes I thwip around the room when we're doing the podcast. Because
flip flaps.
My secret identity is Spider-Man. I wish.
Not, but we'll take
that.
that.
Just so I could say goodbye to Uncle Ben properly. All right, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Let it go, right? I'm not, ever.